Ever find yourself scrolling through social media, and you just start feeling like everyone else has their life totally figured out?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there. It's like this weird comparison trap we can fall into.
Right. And then it's easy to start feeling kind of down on yourself, like you're the only one who isn't living their best life. So today, we're diving deep into this whole comparison thing, especially on social media. We're going to figure out how to escape that trap and feel better.
Because you're definitely not alone in feeling that way. It's incredibly common, actually. I mean, think about it.
Exactly.
What we're mostly seeing online are those highlight reels, those perfectly curated snapshots of people's lives.
It's so true. This source I was reading calls it like it is. They said it's like comparing our everyday kind of messy lives to these like airbrushed versions of reality.
Yeah, like comparing your Tuesday morning commute with
Yeah.
someone's photo of them relaxing on a beach somewhere.
Exactly. You're just setting yourself up for feeling bad, Like, why even bother? Right.
Right, and the thing is, we're naturally wired to make comparisons. It's a
Yeah.
part of how we understand the world, right? But with social media, it's like we're constantly bombarded with these idealized images, these snippets of perfection.
And it's easy to forget those are just snippets, not the whole picture.
Yeah.
Speaking of pictures, this source also made me think like, what even is success? Why are we so hung up on this one-size-fits-all idea of it? Like, it has to be the fancy car, the huge house, the perfect family, the dream job.
Right. But who gets to define that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, true success, I think, is about defining it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like what truly makes you feel happy and fulfilled.
Totally. This source called it defining success on your own terms, which I love. So maybe success for you right now is acing that presentation at work or finally keeping that houseplant alive.
Exactly. And you get to celebrate those wins no matter how small they might seem to someone else because they matter to you.
I love that. And it's so important to remember those wins, especially when we're feeling stuck in that comparison trap. Oh, and you know what else this source mentioned? It's called the spike method.
Oh, tell me more about that. I haven't heard of that one.
So basically, it says you don't have to be good at everything. Just focus on finding your spike, your one thing, your true passion, your unique skill, and then become absolutely amazing at that.
Ah, I see. It's about specializing, really owning your area of expertise.
Right. And then suddenly it matters less what everyone else is doing because you're in your own lane, rocking your own thing.
It's such a good point. Specialization has always been a path to success, and focusing on your spike like that, it plays to your strengths. It fuels your intrinsic motivation. It's not about competing with others. It's about being the best version of yourself.
Exactly. And that reminds me, let's not forget about those small victories along the way, too. Those are so important. Like, did you drink enough water today? When? Did you manage to get out of bed and get dressed, even when it felt impossible? That's a huge win right there.
Huge. Those small wins are essential. They help us build momentum and feel good about our progress.
They're like those little building blocks.
Exactly. Each one gets you closer to where you want to be, and they all contribute to this sense of self-efficacy, which is crucial for staying motivated, especially when we're working towards bigger goals.
It's like remembering you've got this, even when things get tough. You know what else this source reminded me of? That old saying teachers used to use, eyes on your own paper.
Oh, I remember that.
Right, and it totally applies here too. When it comes to comparison, remember you're on your own path, running your own race.
Right.
You're on your own timeline.
It's your journey,
Yeah,
and it's unique to you. No two are the same, and that's what makes it all so interesting.
exactly. Comparing yourself to others, it just doesn't make sense when you really think about it. It's like comparing apples and oranges. What matters is that you're moving forward at your own pace.
Love that. Celebrating your progress, not just focusing on how far ahead or behind you think you are compared to someone else.
This deep dive has been such a good reminder that we actually have a lot of power when it comes to this. We can choose how we view success. It's easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing online, but ultimately it's about focusing on our own journey and celebrating our own wins.
Completely agree. Being mindful of all that curated content, redefining success on your own terms, finding your own spike and becoming amazing at it, celebrating the little victories and remembering that you're on your own unique path.
Ah.
Those are all powerful, powerful tools for escaping that comparison trap.
They really are. So before we wrap up, I want to ask you, what's one small win you can celebrate right now? Take a moment to think about it. Recognizing those little victories can make a big difference.
They really can.
Yeah,
It all starts with that awareness, right?
absolutely. And on that note, that's a wrap for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.